Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about my electricity bill. Yes, it was for 1 month for $900. So today I want to talk to you about the things that I did, things to prevent it, and the issues that it caused. So please like, subscribe if you do like my content, and let's chop this bill down, guys. And I know I have some viewers from Panama, so if you guys need to chime in and let me know any additional things that I need to do, that would be great. Okay, guys, so I'm going to take this back 3 months. So for June, July, and August, they estimated my usage at about 750 watts. So I was paying about $150 a month, and I felt like that was pretty reasonable, so I paid the bill. I was okay. So in September, I get the bill. The bill says $1,000 and something that I used 3,000 watts. So from looking at the 750 every month to now seeing 3,000, I'm thinking obviously there's a problem. So this is what I did next. I went down to Natural G, pulled a little card. Very difficult because nobody speaks English, so be prepared for that. And translation apps, they work, but it's still a language barrier. So, that's another thing that we have to work through. But I did go down there with somebody who spoke fluent Spanish. So I get there and I'm talking to the lady, and he's all upset, and he's like, there's no way she could have used 3,000 watts. And I'm thinking, well, how in the world did I use 700 every single month? And then all of a sudden, it's 3,000 and I'm the only one in the house. So I'm trying to explain to the lady, and obviously she's looking at me like she could care less. But the process is, we did put in a claim, and after I put in the claim, we started thinking about, okay, well, you know what, if this bill is wrong, maybe the ones previous was wrong too, so let's take a look at all of them. So can you go back, prior months to make sure that she was charged properly? So then the lady said, no, we can't do that, we can only verify the month that you're in. So if she had a problem with the previous month, she should have just came in here. So I'm like, okay, I have no problem with paying the $150 that I did, so I will just eat that if it's wrong. But this $1,000, yes, I have a problem with that. So we put in a claim, and we wrote it all up. So she told me, she was like, okay, well, you can't pay your bill. You just have to wait until we get the response from the investigative team. So I don't know the procedure to what they actually do for that, but they started the process. So I get the October bill, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, well, they owe me a credit, so I'm sure it's going to be enough to cover that $150, thinking it was going to be probably around that same $150 that it has been the entire time. So I didn't pay anything. I didn't notice anything. And then November hit, same thing, thinking it was fine. So December comes around, and I'm sitting in my house, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm about to take a nap and just relax myself. Go in the room, I get a call from my security gate, and he's like, Latriva, because he doesn't speak English either. And he's like, come down here right now. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? So I get down there, and he's trying to tell me that they're about to turn off my lights, right? So he's like, light. So I was like, snap, they about to snip my lights. And so he's like, see. So I'm talking to the guys. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? I'm under this claim, and they said that they owe me a credit. So I'm thinking, $1,000. If my bill was $150 every month, I should be getting a large credit back. So they're like, I'm sorry, ma'am. We're here to turn your services off because you hadn't paid for the 3 months, and your total is like, I think at that point it was like $1,200, maybe $1,300, something like that. So I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? So I was like, can you hold 1 second? Can I call them? Can I get somebody on the phone? I mean, obviously, I need my electricity. I just went grocery shopping. I have a full refrigerator full of food, a whole freezer full of food, and it was a Friday. So he's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't. We're a third-party company, and they just dispatch us out to turn the things off. We have nothing to do with your billing or any of that stuff. So, I mean, I'm screwed at that point. So I was like, okay. So they turned my electricity off, like off. Jump in my car, I go down there. Thank God at that time it was only about noon, so I had time to try to figure it out. So I get down there, I'm talking to the guy, and he sees the credit. Wait, no, he did not see the credit. So my balance was at that time was still about $1,200. So I'm explaining to him, I have all the paperwork, I have all the claim paperwork, and I'm thinking, okay, they said I have a credit. The usage was $3,000. My usage is normally around $750. So where's the money? So he's typing on this little computer, and this time I go by myself because obviously it was spur of the moment. My electricity just got turned off. I didn't have time to call anybody or organize anybody to translate for me. So he prints out everything, he has everything there, and he goes, yeah, I see. Well, he didn't speak English, but this is what he pretty much said. Well, I see where they gave you a credit for October, but they undercharged you for the previous, I think it was like 3 or 4 months. So we added that money to your previous months. So I'm thinking, okay, well, when I came down here and said that my bill was wrong and you told me that you couldn't adjust anything prior to the 30 days that we were in, how come you guys can go and charge me more for the previous months? Of course, I didn't get any answer for that. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, all right, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? My food, everything is like, what do I do? Like, I can't be in the night, in the dark, like this is crazy as hell. So he's like, well, right now you need to pay $750. I was like, okay, $750, but I owe $1,200. Like, I'm still lost, but I'm by myself trying, the communication barrier is horrible. So that's on my behalf because I do not speak Spanish. And so he said, well, to get it turned back on, you need to pay $750. I'm like, okay, well, do you take cash? Do you take credit cards? He's like, no, you need to go and, well, no, he gave me an option. He said that you can do a payment plan. You need to pay $130 today, but you need to go to Western Union and pay the $130. So I'm like, okay, so then what's next? How much do I pay, additional a month? He goes, well, the total after you pay it would be about, I think it was $1,400. So they charge interest on your payment plan. So I'm thinking, okay, that's not a good option for me. I'm not going to give you more money than I owe. And first of all, I don't feel like I owe you any money, but nobody's trying to hear anything at this point. So I'm like, okay, what's my total bill that I need to pay right now? So he said $750, whatever. But your new month is out. I said, okay, but I just paid the new month online $200. So mind you, all of these months, when I got the letter of that I was getting credit, I was still paying whatever that bill was. And it was typically around the $125, $150. The last one was about $200 that I had just paid probably 3 or 4 days prior to going down there. So I'm like, hey, I bring up my phone, I pull up my bank account, and I'm like, I just paid you guys $200, so the bill should not be still $1,200. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm paying everything, it's going to be around $1,000. Oh Lord. So then he goes, well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I can't do anything unless you pay this $700. So I'm like, okay, fine. And for me and my budget and what I do here in Panama, I have all of my money, it's still in my US bank. I do have a Panamanian bank account here, and I normally send myself money, basically an allowance, every 2 months. So this was my second month when I'm down there. So now basically my account is down to pretty much zero because I was ready to go for my new month of budgeting money. So I'm like, okay, oh my God. So I'm like, okay, let me figure this out. Let me go to the ATM. I'm gonna try to get some money out and get you guys the money, because I don't want to do the payment plan because I'm not gonna pay no $1,400. So now I'm paying you more when you made the mistake. It just made no sense to me. But again, I didn't want to be in the dark. completely freaking out. Freaking out. Because if you wire money, sometimes, I think it was a holiday too, if you wire money, sometimes it'll be right away, but then last time I did it, it took like 3 or 4 days, so you never know, and I couldn't take that risk. So I go to the ATM. I had to make like 4 transactions because they only gave me so much money. I went, paid the bill, brought it back to the guy, showed him the receipt, and he went to his manager and he's like, okay, we'll let you, we'll turn your electricity back on. So he called the third party that he had turned it off to come back out and turn it back on. But story's not, it just doesn't end there. So this is hilarious. So I'm freaking out. So this is before I go to the ATM and I take all my money out. I get back to my car. I'm trying to figure out, oh my God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I call my mom. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom, like they turned my electricity off. I need electricity. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. She's like, calm down, calm down. So I asked her, I was like, can you try to wire me money? Oh my God, I need $1,000. They're gonna keep my electricity off. She's like, okay, calm down. I'll Zelle you some money and see if, if that'll work for you. So mind you, like I said previously, I went to the ATM. I ended up taking out money from my ATM account, my bank account in the States, obviously charging all of my international fees, but fine. I'm stressed out, it's hot as hell, and I'm trying to get out of this electric company. So I show him the ticket. Hey, I paid my bill. He goes to his manager and he says, okay, we'll try to get him out there today. So I get back home and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, we all know Panamanian time. It could be today, it could be tomorrow. It's no sense of urgency. You don't have a window of when it's going to be turned back on. They just say, mañana, or we gonna try to make it happen. So I'm sitting there like, holy shit. I'm not opening my refrigerator. I'm trying to keep all the cold air in. I'm doing everything. I'm like, I just bought all of this food, right? So it comes back on. So I'm happy. Boom. Fan is blowing. I'm like, okay, this is good. We're back in business. Now I paid everything in full. I just, in my mind, I was like, you just got. That's it. That's all. So I wasn't going to fight it anymore. I was exhausted after spending a whole day up there. But I just paid everything. So I gave them $1,000 that they said. I knew I had just paid that $200, so the total thing said $1,200, but I just paid the $200 online 3 days prior, so I knew it wasn't no damn $1,200 still. Oh Lord. So I come back, I'm happy, my electricity's on, I'm feeling good about it, I have a clean slate. I don't have a claim anymore. I'm just taking the loss, right? Yeah. So, now I got a guest in my house. Here goes security again. Let's what the hell's going on now? Oh, Lord. So, they were back again to turn me off. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just gave y'all $1,000. I just paid $200 online, so that's $1,200, and you're here to turn me off again. No, well, it said you're 3 months behind. I'm not 3 months behind. Where are you guys getting this information from? So she's saying that, and now it's a lady this time. So she's saying, I don't know, again, I'm a third party. They just call us to come out to snip your electricity. Now I want to cry because I'm like, this is just too much. This is just too much. Like, first of all, I didn't have the damn $1,000, and that's all I did ATM, so I just got all the money out the ATM. So now I still don't have any money in my Panamanian account because it's not time for me to do the wire yet. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how much do I owe? How much does your system say I owe? Well, it says you owe $135. Well, where the heck did that number come from, $135? And so now I'm begging and pleading, and now all of the workers in my building, they're like, trying to translate for me, but even though they don't even speak English, but they know that I already been turned off and I paid the money, and so they're trying to, speak up for me. And the lady's like, okay, all right, fine. I will, I'll go and do my other runs and give you time to pay this $135 because I have to cut your electricity off today. So I'm like, okay, fine, here we go now. Now I need to find this $135. So I got out a little extra money when I did the first payment. So I had about 100 and, actually I didn't have 100, I think I had about $80 in my wallet. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I'm just extremely stressed out. I'm feeling completely alone, and the communication barriers were just really getting to me, and I didn't really understand why am I continuously giving them more money when I had a damn credit. I don't get it. I'm stressed out at this point. I'm just, again, I got a guest in my house and my lights get turned off. That, one, is embarrassing. Two, like, the food, the light, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? Oh my God, it was absolutely terrible. So needless to say, I go to one of the kiosks or whatever, and I pay the $135. So I guess it was registered into the electricity company, and the third party never came back. So my electricity was never turned off. I'm so stressed out at this point. I come back up, I'm having me my Prosecco, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I'm completely stressed out because, for one, I cannot afford for them to do this to me every couple months. Like, it won't work for me. So now I'm contemplating, did I make the right decision even coming here, and what's going on? And I really just felt like I had no control over them taking that money from me because, they knew, like, I'm not gonna go without electricity and air condition, and what about my food? And I mean, it was just like, who does that? Where do they do that at? And I just felt helpless. So the last thing just happened last week. So I'm making this video as it's fresh. So they didn't turn me off last week. Stressed out, I'm hanging out, I'm trying to give myself a break, and like nothing else can possibly happen. So I definitely do need to go back down there and see what my total balance is at this point. But there was no credit. There was, like I said, they did offer me a payment plan, but it had a lot of interest on there to where I had to go and make payments at Western Union and all this stuff, and it was just more hassle than just paying the whole amount. It was, now I feel, I feel nervous, like shit. I paid all that money the first time. They came out like a week or two later to turn it off again. So I'm sitting here talking to y'all, child, and my lights can go out. Like, I don't feel comfortable about the whole situation at all because it makes no sense. And for them to tell me that, oh, we can't go back and give you a credit, but you can go back and bill me. And I don't, I don't even still know if that's right or not. So what I was doing is, now I take a picture of my meter at the beginning of the month, I take a picture of my meter at the end of the month, and then I try to, this all just happened, so I'm gonna try to match it towards what the bill says to what my meter reads. So therefore I can, if I ever need to put in another claim, I can have obviously the proof of the numbers in my meter. So the moral of the story is, don't believe the hype that people's bill can go on and on and on without them turning off your lights. I don't know if that's just bill for Panamanians and then they put it back on us. I'm not sure, but baby, they was out here turning your girls' electricity off. Like, off with no problem. And looking at me like, me don't understand. You pay money. I'm telling you, I feel completely, completely bamboozled. Completely bamboozled, child. And Like, I'm just reconsidering everything. Like, my friends and everybody now, nobody pays that amount. Nobody that I know has gone through that. Everybody's bill is $100 or less. And then when I talk to my Panamanian friends, their bills are normally $20, $30, $40, $50. So I don't feel comfortable with what's going on. But what I can tell you is this. Your girl ain't got no $1,000 every month when Panama feels like they want to just charge me because we need to pay for something else. That's not cool. So I definitely will be taking a picture of my meter the beginning of the month and probably the middle of the month and the end of the month, just so that I can have the backup and proof that where you get these numbers from, because it's just not adding. The math is not mathing. But that I will say that has been my complete con. I used to read about it on the the WhatsApp groups. I saw a couple ladies that said that they had a high electricity bill too, and it didn't happen to me yet. So I was like, I think I might even commented, I haven't had it. And shit, the next month I was all up in it. I was stressed out, getting clipped. So, if y'all reading stuff about this electricity situation, go there the month that you see the issue on your bill. And when you get there, first of all, when you get to the apartment, when you take over the apartment, whatever, take a picture of that meter, honey, because when I went in there, I didn't have anything to show them, anything to prove for anything, but from 750 watts to 3,000 watts, that just makes no sense whatsoever. So one of the other things that they did tell me was that, and then I looked at my bill a little bit closer, and I think I said this in my other video too, they estimate. So all of my previous months were estimated. So it said estimate. And they just estimated the amount of electricity that I would possibly use. And then I guess the 3,000 watts was the real. So that bill said the real watts. So if it's the real watts, how is it still real wrong? None of it adds up, guys. None of it adds up. So my advice to you, take a picture of the damn meter. First of the month, middle of the month, end of the month. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, you should see the previous bills. Sometimes they don't have those previous bills, and it's only because the owners, they probably hadn't lived there. So now we're talking about the previous tenants. The previous tenants not gonna leave their bills behind. And unless the owners might be able to get it from Naturgy, but who wants to go down there and fight with all that? So I would ask around, and I did ask the previous owner for my place how much her bill was, and she was outraged when she saw that $1,000. So she said, I had a whole family, my whole family lived here. Husband, wife, kids, everything. She said her bill never went over $200. That's with everybody in this room. I mean, I got a whole 3-bedroom, 4.5 baths, but it's me. So, and if I'm up in here sweating, $1,000, I could have been cool. So it should just not making sense, guys. So, I'm showing you guys these apartments. That's why I keep saying, make sure you got them inverters, because the electricity out here, baby, it ain't no joke. And you don't want to be like a girl, cut off. Girl, cut off. So, like I said, all this just happened last week. So I need to take my little behind down there. I should have did it today, but I wanted to tell y'all about it. But I need to go down there. I need to confirm that we're at 0. Because after the 200, after the $1,000, now after the 135, Shit, how much is that? That what, 13.25, 13.35. So I should, I mean, see, again, I still feel like I should have a credit. Like, why do I still owe money? But anywho, I'm gonna go down there before the week is out to make sure that my balance is at 0. And you best believe that I will have my pictures from the beginning, the mid, and the end of the month, so I will not have this problem. I will not say I won't have this problem, but I will have an ammunition to actually have some evidence to go with my claim next time. So guys, yeah, just beware, because look, it's getting dark out here. Look, I ain't even trying my light on because my light might be turned off, Lord. But anywho, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave comments. I know, like I said, some of you guys are from Panama. Please let me know if there's something else that I need to do. But I totally just feel helpless, and I gave them all this money because I cannot afford to be sitting in here in the dark, child. But I do need one thing from you Panamanian guys. There is something that's called, well, it's kind of like our consumer affairs. I had it before, and I don't know what I did with that number. But if you know the name of the consumer affairs place where that's kind of like our, what do we call that? I can't remember what we call it. Oh, it's consumer affairs. So we have a problem with companies and things like that. We go and put in a claim. And if they do something to me again, I'm going to put in a claim with them. So guys, remind me of the name of that company so that if I get another bill or if another person come out here to cut my electricity off, I'm going straight to them, because this is ridiculous. But again, look at me smiling now. I got, well, shit, I don't know if I got lights. Let your girl, let me go try and make sure I got lights on. Let me see if I got some lights. All right, well, your girl got lights. So I see y'all next time. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming, and I will continue to keep it coming for you. But this is another thing that you guys definitely need to be concerned about, worried about, and that's why I said you need to have some type of reserve money, because you don't know what can come up. That could be out of your control. Because again, this $1,000, the 13.25, 35, whatever it was out of my control. So please, Panama is beautiful. It has a lot of great things to offer, but shit happens. So thank you guys once again. Please like, subscribe, ask me any questions. If you have any ideas of what I can do next, please let me know. Thanks. Have a great evening, guys.